going to introduce our first support act of the evening. He's got many strings to his bow. DJ, poet, obviously, musician, photographer, artist, filmmaker. What's that?
Bread maker.
Yeah, sailor. All of those. He also helped found Sundown. He published his debut book of poetry last year, Confessions of a Forklift Truck Driver, which is on sale on the sort of merchandise table over there for £3. And he's also behind a new public arts commission called Vibe Cube, along with Damien Robinson. And there are flyers, I believe, on the table for it. They look like that. And there's a website for it, openspaceessex.org, if you want to know more about that. But let's introduce him anyway, Stuart Bowditch.
Okay, so I heard the word on the street was to do a Mother's Day poem first. So, well, a couple of years ago, this is what Mother's Day was like for me. A last-minute dash to the Royals, surely it has what I need. A card, a present, nothing more, it's easy to achieve. But half an hour later, a cheapo card and a random gift makes me question my loyalties and priorities and to what that amounts. But then I remind myself that it's the thought that counts. I think she just kind of said, oh, thanks, do you want a cup of tea? And when I read that poem, it kind of reminded me of how much I really hate shopping and just being in town amongst all these gluttonous, angry people fighting each other for cheap plastic rubbish. So this is inspired by that really. It's called The Carrier of Bags. Grocery misconduct and the unseen darkness of the pet food aisle. In-store detectives detect the presence of the store and nothing else. Mothers drive me up the wall with their shouting, and their driving, and their parking, and their children that look like frozen turkeys but with more stuffing. Shopping the trolley with less than 10 items for improper use. Its basket case pusher too lazy to carry a basket in case it pushes into overexertion. The pale enchantress at the checkout, checking you out, then zapping your salami with a laser beam twice. As the first time it didn't register that you shouldn't be forcing your meat onto a teenager in front of a crowd. Keep your plums to yourself, old man, or at least in the fruit and veg section where they will slowly rot, along with people who buy courgettes. Cigarettes at a different counter these days. I thought that segregation had gone, but now it's the same queue for the lottery as well, both being a fast track to an early grave at your convenience, with ever-increasing popularity. Soon there will be 2 or 3 or even 4 checkouts for lottery and fags alone, and then your loved ones will have to carry their own bags home after they've had to endure the same fate as me, when all I wanted was a jelly and an easy life. This is my last one, and it started off as a poem but ended up into this massive rant. So I tried to tame it back into a poem again, and basically it's about people that don't look at stuff. They're all in their own little bubble and they don't get inspired by anything, and they're completely oblivious to all these things that are happening around them. So it's called a rant about wheels, tom-toms and the confusion over puffin crossings. There it is, the extra light on the dashboard that you seem really proud of. But do you really need satellite navigation to drive to Asda? Or down the M1, it's like a straight blue line with 2 green bits either side. It's going to help, isn't it? It's a shame you don't walk the thin blue line and stick to the speed limit. You seem to have forgotten mirror, signal, manoeuvre. Now it's just manoeuvre, signal. Is it reassurance you need? That you're doing the right thing, going the right way? Can't you just follow the signs and have faith in your own decisions and reflexes? I know you can't. You might even save time and petrol by taking the shortest route. You might actually learn something about the land that you live in. Maybe see some of the sights and history that have made this place that you call home, instead of bypassing it and racing back so that you're in time to watch this week's episode that's interspersed with adverts for tom-toms and cheap life and motor insurance and more expensive, safer cars that you can only just about afford if you consolidate all your debts into one. There it is, the light on the crossing, moving the red and green men from across the road and placing them next to the button seems to cause a bit of confusion. And in the process, it's made it a free-for-all, people crossing any old way without even looking. Whatever happened to the green cross code? Stop, look and listen? Fuck that. If someone just tries to run me over, I'm just going to shout at them. Those mums who try desperately to get across the road, pushing their buggies and babies into the road while the traffic rushes by. Those Primark bags won't cushion the blow much, will they? And then she'll complain that the driver was going too fast and that he wasn't looking where he was going, and he'll say, well, she shouldn't have been standing in the middle of the fucking road, and she'll say that he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, and it's always somebody else's fault. It's strange how people perceive themselves as different from everybody else. It's strange how that we think we're above the laws of the land. And it's absolutely ridiculous that we think we're above the laws of physics.
Stuart Bowditch!
Well done, Stuart.
His book is on sale, Confessions of a Forklift Truck Driver, so approach him. He needs to eat, the man needs to eat.
He does, and it's only £3.
Yeah, so do buy his book. And he's got a fantastic website, by the way, as well, stuartbowditch.co.uk. It's very busy, there's a lot going on.
Very busy.
There's poetry, photography, video, loads of different stuff. It's got many, many layers. It is, if you will, the tiramisu of websites.